Okay, Jordan, you're about to learn a bunch of stuff about. Now let's before we jump into this, Jordan, we need to begin this with a little flashback. Let's do the flashback noise with me, Jordan, to a previous time on the show. Well, no, you don't do it until I say it. That's not how the magic works. Where we do a little flashback to previous time on the show when we talked about. No, there's still not time yet. There's not time. We're talking about the witches.
You guys get flashback.
There's not. No, we talked about the witches. And Jordan was like, that movie ended with him not turning back into a mouse. Cue the clip. Now we do the flashback, Jordan.
Remember in this one from the last one, or from the first one, from the original one, Words Are Hard, I seem to remember that in the original, the boy turns back into
a boy.
A boy at the end, but in this one they stay mice.
Yeah, I remember that.
And like,
too. They turn back into humans.
And like the at the end, so there's a point where basically where the Chris Rock is the narrator voice of the boy. And so there's a point near the end where the boy is like, so Grandma, how long do mice typically live? And the grandma's like, about 3 years if you're a normal mouse, but you're like a special, like, human mouse, so you'll probably live at least double that. And I'm like, wow, that's dark. This 6-year-old boy gets to have, or this, not 6-year-old, but this child gets to have like a shortened length. That's upsetting.
There we go. Now we flashbacked. No, I'm talking about The Witches. I watched the 1990 movie The Witches. And if I've correctly edited in the clip, and Jordan didn't fuck up the timing with his... How dare you. You have seen Jordan say that the remake was weird because he doesn't turn back into a boy at the end and he stays a mouse. And Jordan was like, mice don't live very long.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
As a reminder, for those of you who might have not seen The Witches is about a little boy who is at a hotel and he runs into a bunch of witches and he gets turned into a mouse.
I mean, yeah.
That's pretty much it.
That's a pretty succinct summary.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, so while watching this movie, I was reading about the book, and surprise, this movie's incredible, number one, but surprise, Jordan, the ending in the remake is the original ending of the book. So in the original ending of the book, he does not turn back into a human. And in fact, it's even more fucked up in the book, because in the book, he knows he's going to die early. He knows he's only going to live for about 9 years, and then he's going to die. And he's okay with that because he doesn't want to live longer than the grandma who is going to die in 9 years.
That's so fucked up.
Right? And we're going to flash forward a bit for a second here, but the ending of this book, of this movie, is that the kid gets turned back into a human. And Roald Dahl, who was alive when they made this movie, was unhappy with that.
He wanted him to stay.
He wanted him to stay a mouse because that was the original ending. He was unhappy that they changed the ending, even though it's a better ending. The Witches! Yeah. Play the trailer.
From the incredible imagination of Jim Henson and director Nicholas Roeg comes a fascinating new fantasy adventure.
Yeah, The Witches. So this movie's fucking upsetting. It's so upsetting. I sent Jordan clips of it. It's like, dear God, why? No, why? No. This is supposed to be a movie for children. Oh, it's just as upsetting as I remember. Oh, God, why? Seriously, oh, Jesus, Lord, and why? Just as upsetting as I remember. This is a movie for children. Oh God, it's so upsetting. Why is it so upsetting? Who is this movie for? It is upsetting and frightening and traumatizing for children. I would know. We're the children. Jordan responded with a message of, I'm pretty sure I blocked this out of my memory, because he remembered it, but like not specifically.
I remember it being upsetting and I remember it being horrifying, but the details of exactly how upsetting and horrifying it were definitely lost on me because I don't think I wanted to remember
It's
this.
scary, right?
It's upsetting.
It is upsetting. Like not even just the witch's makeup, which like okay, I can appreciate how good it is because it is genuinely upsetting. But
I
him
mean,
turning
yeah,
into
sure,
a mouse,
some of them are. Others are just guys in drag.
it just kind of looks like a lot of them are guys in wigs. Like a lot of the like I'm not.
A lot of the witches are men in wigs. Surely they should look like men in wigs anyway. Yeah, a lot of them just look like they're men in wigs and dresses.
Crazy, right? A lot of the background characters look like guys in wigs.
The video you showed me, the part that you showed me, yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely it did.
And so, Jordan, I'm burying the lead to tell you the most shocking fact about this movie that will both not surprise you and surprise you. You're never gonna guess who executive produced this movie and had an extensive hand in making it.
Steven Spielberg.
No. Think more.
Jim Henson.
Jim Henson executive produced this movie and had a extensive hand in making it, and he was the reason why they changed the ending.
Because he didn't want to leave him a mouse.
Yeah, he didn't want it to be a major bummer, and he had to talk to Roald Dahl to convince him to let them change the end.
That's funny.
And it is the last thing he produced.
Not
before
surprising,
right?
But
when you
funny.
see all the puppet effects in that movie, like, oh, I didn't even send you the witch when she gets turned into a mouse at the end of the movie. She becomes this horrifying half mouse, like it's half mouse, half her witch face. Mouse monstrosity that is also horrifying. But yeah, it like it reminds me of like Labyrinth or like Dark Crystal and that. Like yeah, Jim Henson loves his upsetting puppets.
Yeah, he does.
And it just kind of
really does.
It blew my mind that he is both the source of my greatest, most beloved childhood characters and the source of my greatest trauma.
My nightmare fuel.
I've seen that movie too many times. I've seen it more than once, and I don't understand why. Because it is truly upsetting, and not even just that it's upsetting. It is also absurdly boring. Like the first 10 minutes of it to 11 minutes of it is just her just physically describing how awful the witches are. That's all it is. It's just them sitting in a room and her describing the witches, and that's it.
Well, I mean, that scene exists to warn you for the later scene where you see the witches and they're horrible and
It's
awful.
like it's a lot of telling, don't show, and then it's like then showing you anyway, making her spending 10 minutes of the movie describing it completely unnecessary. Also, once it becomes a mouse, everything becomes too easy.
That scene where they're describing is there so the parents who are watching with their kids can listen to that before it gets to the showing part and be like, yeah, no, we're not.
No.
You're not sitting. We're gonna turn this off right now.
No, yeah, it's genuinely so upsetting. I don't understand why my parents let me watch it. Like it upsets me now. It gives me like an awful pity feeling in my stomach that I'm like, oh, I hate this. And it's just a genuinely boring movie. And like I say, the kid, like that scene that I showed you, it goes on for like almost 5-10 minutes of them in that room using this serum. It goes on for so long with these just like extreme close-ups of this awful, upsetting looking makeup, and I'm like, it's a movie too boring for me as an adult, and it's upsetting to me as a child. I don't understand who it's for. I don't understand Jim Henson, what were you doing, man? Why did you do this? Why? Who hurt you, Jim Henson? Is it because you had the cancer at the time? You were hurting, so you had to hurt other people? Is that why?
I mean, that's clearly why. It's got to be that. There's no other reason.
There's no other reasonable explanation for why you would inflict this onto children. It's not cool. It's not cool what you've done.
It's got to be that.
It was upsetting. It was boring. And yeah, once he becomes a mouse, everything becomes really easy. Like there's one scene where where they fight a cat, but otherwise he has no trouble like getting anything from anywhere. Like the ending of the movie, he gets the dose by easily stealing it by sneaking into her room as a mouse, and then just happens to get her address book of every witch in America. He's like, oh, that's convenient. That's real convenient.
Yeah, I mean,
It was bad, and I hated it.
If it makes you feel any better, and I'd have to go back and confirm to see what my thoughts were, I seem to remember the modern telling not being very good either.
It was bad, and I hated it. And also, like, yeah, his descriptions of witches from the book are really anti-Semitic, and a lot of them make it into the movie. But it's Roald Dahl. He was known for his anti-Semitism. It was kind of his thing.
That's fair. I understand what you're trying to say.
I'm not wrong.
I didn't say you were.
I'm not wrong. He was. He was known for his rampant anti-Semitism. He basically said, I'm going to say the not bad version of what he said, and it's still going to be bad. He was basically like, there's a reason Hitler didn't like them.
Ooh, no, never say that again on stream, Justin.
Yeah, it was bad. It was very bad. That is a very bad thing he said, and I severely toned it down because what he actually said was way worse.
Oh, Justin. What are you doing, Justin?
I didn't say it.
No, but you said it out loud. And
Roald Dahl said it.
Now it can be cut and clipped and made to be used for something out of context.
Roald Dahl said it. I didn't say it. He wrote the bad stereotypes into the bad no good movies that Justin didn't like. I didn't say it.
Do you have anything else to say about The Witches?
No, it's bad, upsetting movie. Bad, boring, upsetting movie. Oh, that's not. Also, I will say the puppetry on the mice when they're mice is honestly kind of good. There we go. It's a real fat compliment sandwich where all the bad is like compliment.
So,
what is up, everybody? It is N-Card Justin once again here to ask you, have you seen the 1990s Witches movie, and did it traumatize you? It probably did traumatize you. It's a very upsetting movie. Have you seen the remake? Have you read the book? What do you think of the Witches in general? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you would like, you can click the video on the left, and that's going to take you to the full podcast where we talked about all sorts of different movies from the years we were born. Or you click the video on the right, and that's going to take you to a video YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy. Otherwise, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and we will see you all in the next video.